Hello Spook fans, welcome to the channel. In this episode I'm going to show you how to make this portal device. Here's a small example of how it works as well. So for those unfamiliar with a portal device, what it does is basically take the signal of a spirit box, run it through some different filters and essentially push the end product out the other side. What you will need for this build, that I don't include in the build, is a spirit box. Any spirit box will do as long as it's got a 3.5mm headphone jack shown here. And then you'll just need a Bluetooth speaker as well. Some people use amplifiers. I'm just using a Bluetooth speaker because I use it for other things as well. And again, the Bluetooth speaker just has a 3.5mm headphone jack. Onto the actual components of the actual portal device, you'll need a noise gate, first of all. And a lot of traditional portals have a noise gate and a reverb pedal. I've added a compression pedal as well, basically because it will level out the levels so you don't get massive spikes in volume, and it will bring up the quiet points up to the same volume as the loudest points. I'm not a massive fan of the reverb pedal, which is used in traditional portals, mainly because I think it just basically clouds the audio and makes it harder to actually understand and gives it sort of a spooky, ethereal feel. The compression pedal was recommended to me by a musician friend of mine who, as I say, due to the nature of the spirit box, you've got really quiet bits and really loud bits, and the compression pedal just sort of keeps it all in line. Excuse the wiring. Unfortunately, these are all DC pedals or direct pedals. They're plugged in over here. I did try some battery powered pedals, but they chewed through batteries really quickly and they weren't exactly what I wanted. I couldn't find a battery powered noise gate, so I had to basically go for this. Once you've got all this, you need to basically plug it all up, and you'll have patch cables, which are sort of standard guitar cables. I think they're 1/4 or 6.35 size or something, and then from that you'll need to basically buy a converter which goes to a sort of standard headphone jack size for these to go into the spirit box and the Bluetooth speaker. And that's pretty much it. All you're doing is running a signal from the spirit box through these pedals to your Bluetooth speaker. Your signal chain is quite important, so you do want to sort of go noise gate, compression, and then reverb at the end, because otherwise, if for instance you had the reverb at the beginning, you'd be adding reverb to the signal and then running it through a noise gate, whereas this way we're cutting out a lot of the nasty static with this, bringing the volume up so it's about equal with this, and then putting the reverb on the end. I will just show you a couple of clips of it playing now, some with the reverb, some without the reverb, and see what you think. Again, you can customize this however you want. Okay, so again, excuse the wires, but the spirit box is running. It's coming out of the Bluetooth speaker here. If I just move this up, as I say, it's running through these, so noise gate, compression, ocean verb, or reverb. If I switch the reverb off, it sounds a lot more like a standard sort of spirit box. As I say, I quite like this because basically it doesn't give it that weird sort of spooky or ethereal feel. I understand why most portals do it, because apparently it makes it easier to hear things, but I actually think the opposite, because it really clouds the sound essentially. Again, you can play with any of this, so if I switch the reverb off again and just turn the noise gate up, and that's now cut out most, if not all, of the static. Let's just pull that back down, because you want to get it to a level where it's just about coming through like this. And then if I pull the compression up, that will level it out. There's a level knob here on the compression that I was just changing, which is your volume. You've got a mix and a tone control and the amount of reverb on your reverb pedal. Let's switch that on again. And I'm just going to let it run for a couple of seconds now without talking, so you can get an overview of how it actually works. again, it's just sort of a nice way of having a spirit box run, cutting out a lot of the nasty static, because let me just turn the noise gate down and you'll hear. It's what a spirit box normally sounds like, and it's, although they're great devices, they sound absolutely horrible on investigations. Let's flip the reverb back on, just take this down a notch, and again I'll just let this run for a couple of minutes so you get an idea for it. And there you go, that's how to build a pretty simplistic Portal device. I'll link everything down below you need in terms of the pedals and the wires and everything. I won't link the Bluetooth speaker and the spirit box, because hopefully most of you have already got one of these in your kit, and a Bluetooth speaker is entirely your preference, or maybe you want to switch this out for a different type of amplifier, maybe without the sort of standard headphone jack. But again, I'll list everything for this below. It all came off Amazon, and hopefully you can build your own and get some great results of it. Thanks very much.